Taking a look at the Australian US dollar now, quickly checking the weekly chart here. So we here in the longer term, depending which trend line we take, after the all-time lows here in March last year, we saw a move to the upside here. We are going a little bit lower, so maybe somewhere in between here and this kind of triangle. Here is a support line that we broke recently. Taking a look at the daily, so here we broke this line and now we are kind of retesting it. We broke out here again, so this mini retest again. Now next target is here, this resistance line at the 50 EMA. Here on the 4-hour chart, we saw this downtrend that was broken with this bullish uptrend, and now we are here forming a bit of smaller trend to the upside, which means here is the resistance zone at around the 200 EMA here on the 4-hour chart. So we will either get rejected here or see kind of a breakout, and so the possible options are somewhere around here to go lower or to break out, maybe a retest here and then go higher, or to start consolidating here and then go higher from here. So taking a look at the 1-hour chart for now, we are kind of breaking this zone here, which means we could see here retest, and then which looks like we will here then go to the resistance zone here on the daily and 4-hour chart, which I will here mark. In a little bit of a different color, which will be this zone here. So this is what the target will be here, since we saw this breakout for now. If we adjust this trend line a little bit, let's just draw a new one. So this is what it will look like. So for now it looks like we will head here to the, so you could look here for buy entries. For you get here roughly about 50 pips, 60 pips, depends where your entry and stop loss is. If you are a short-term scalper, something like this, since on the 30-minute chart we saw this cross here, we came closer to the 200 EMA, to the 50 EMA with this kind of wedge, triangle, whatever. Well, not really a nice pattern to trade, but we could see something similar happen here along those lines, where we here either trade within a edge and then see a breakout candlestick and then buy from there, or maybe this could turn out to be some kind of triangle here as well. And then a breakout, but this would be the entry, then your stop loss would be maybe a little bit around here, and the target would be this yellow line. So, well, if you want to short or scalp this market, but initially what I would look for is not much going on for now, so it looks like we will head higher at some point, but I would here look either for a breakout on the 4-hour chart or rejection and then trade all the way down. So this was the Australian dollar and the USD. Now checking the USD and the CAD real quick. So as expected, we saw this move to the upside here after retesting the trend line, and now checking the weekly real quick. Here we are at the 200 EMA and this previous support and resistance line somewhere around here. Let's quickly. And here it looks like we will get rejected again and head lower. We saw this big red candlestick on the daily yesterday with the push to the downside. So we are still heading higher for now. On the 1 hour chart here, we are retesting the 200 EMA, which means here we could see a pop to the upside, maybe falling a little bit lower to this support and resistance line, and then continue to go higher once again. 45-minute chart, we are slowly breaking here the 30-minute chart as well, but still not enough to look for okay, so here on the 50-minute chart, the cross to the downside is happening. So if we here can see some kind of pattern like a triangle or a wedge that reaches close to the 50 EMA, then I would look for a breakout to the downside and then take the short with a smaller stop loss around here somewhere, and not all the way up to the previous highs. So this here would be the trade to take for USCAD. If we see here some kind of triangle or wedge flag and then a breakout, something like this, and target all the way down. Depends how good your entry and stop loss is, but I would still wait for the 50 EMA to come closer. So for now it looks like we will here spend some time until the 50 EMA gets closer. But I would look here for a short for USDCAD. So taking a look at USD Japanese yen real quick. So here we reached this resistance zone after this kind of bullish flag, and we are heading here to the upside. Now on the weekly, we are here retesting this pretty big resistance zone. Here we are on an uptrend again on the weekly and daily. So here one retest or the first touch here, the second retest. So here it looks like we will pull back, since this could turn into a head and shoulders pattern. Here it pretty much looks like this. So here I would look for a short here somewhere around this area, all the way down to here, and then if we can retest here this trend line, I will look for a buy. So for now, the 4-hour chart, we are at the resistance zone. So now options are you either trade down to the trend line or the support area here, which would be well, you would roughly have a at least 2-point risk reward ratio depending on your entry and exit. So here in the 1-hour chart, we are consolidating a bit, but this could turn into a triangle or wedge to the upside and then still continue to push higher here, and then maybe see a move like we did here before going back. So I would watch out just that the move to the upside isn't too big, so that the stop loss will get triggered here on the 30-minute chart. Well, not a bearish sign for now, but this is what I would look out for USD Japanese yen. Of course, we could here also see a move to the downside and continue all the way from there, but the trade that I would take now at this resistance area is short, so but it could still go a little bit higher, since we saw here this left wing jumping out of the resistance area as well before forming this head. So here's the left shoulder, here kind of the head, and here you could see some jump before going lower. So this is USD Japanese yen. Taking a look at USD Swiss franc now. So we are here quickly taking a look at the daily chart here, still within this triangle here. We try to break out a bit to go to this resistance zone, got rejected here, and now we're continuing to the downside. For our chart, yeah, here we are still trying to push to the resistance area, so it looks like we will go break out here and go higher. On the 1 hour chart, not that much going on here, so here we saw this breakout but then the rejection. Here it looks like we will still continue to go higher on the 5-minute chart. Here the 1-minute chart is turning around, so looks like we will here continue this pattern to the upside and then eventually break out. It looks like this will be the trade to take. So either if you want to wait here for the breakout and then be a short-term trader, something like this would be your option. But only I personally would wait to either hit this resistance zone or this support line, since we are here along the trend line, which could also mean that we would here get a rejection. But we are kind of in the middle, so you will look either here for buys or for shorts, since we are in the middle. But we are at this resistance line, the smaller one in the middle, and the trend line, so we could see a bigger rejection. Go to the downside, but since we had this big candlestick trying to break out, we could do it again. So for now I'm a little bit patient when it comes to the USD and franc. So next one would be GBPUSD. So here we came to this resistance area that I was looking for shorts, but we saw a break above this area, and now we are retesting this previous resistance area as a support area, which means here also the 50 and 200 EMA are about to collide and turn to the upside, which means here we are actually seeing a momentum to the upside. 15-minute chart. So here we had this wedge and then this bullish candlestick for a breakout, and this would be a short-term trade to take, and we could see something similar happen now here, but the movement to the downside is pretty bearish for now. So unless we don't see a clear indicator to the upside, so here on the 5-minute chart maybe, since we are going all the way up, we could here see a move which forms here a double top, which looks like this will happen here. If we quickly just get rid of so now we hit this zone here, and it looks like we will here trade a bit higher for now, but overall here was the trend line that we broke now somewhere around here, so we could go and see a movement to the 200 EMA, but now here was the breakout and now the retest, so looks like we could here continue to go higher, but for now I would here wait for since here is the trend line and here the support line that we broke. Here I would look for a bullish entry point. So this was GBPUSD. Next one would be the New Zealand and Australian dollar. So on the daily we are still here trading between this support and resistance zones. Here on the forward chart we are breaking with a pretty bullish momentum above the 50 EMA, and now hitting here this resistance zone, but at the same time we broke past this trend line. On the 1 hour chart for now there is no bearish sign, so if we manage to see here a double top, I would go for a short all the way down to here. But if we break here, then I would look for a buy and go the opposite way. So either a double top here, but for now it looks like we will go higher. Here we had again this kind of triangle and then a breakout to the upside. So I would look for the same but to the downside here with a cross between the 50 and 200 EMA, and then kind of a triangle of edge, and then the downside movement. So for now it looks like we will here see a movement, the resistance area, so either a breakout to the upside or a breakout to the downside. So these are the two options, well, pretty much as always.